Hello and welcome to another one of my hand histories. In this particular hand we are playing 6 max micro stakes, and we are sitting on the button with ace jack of hearts. Before every hand we should always look at the chip stacks. We have a slightly above average stack, average stack, average stack. We are slightly above average stack, and average stack. So we got a limper, fold, a call. Now I don't have a lot of hands. We do have 56 hands. We do notice he is a loose passive player. If you do not know what these numbers are, this is a HUD, and it's beyond the scope of this short video to go into details, but I highly recommend you look up what these numbers mean. So our raiser is we only have 11 hands, but he is a 36-27. So this means that he is very loose and slightly aggressive. So what do we do? Well, I normally do not like to 3-bet, especially with, this is considered the 1-bet. That's a 2-bet, so yes, this is the 3-bet. I don't like to 3-bet without monsters because at this level these players like to re-raise all in. I don't know exactly why, but that's what they do. So we do have position on him. We do have a pretty nice hand, so I think it's best just to go ahead and call. And so now we've got an unknown. I do not have any HUD stats on him, but we get re-raised, and everybody folds to us. Well, he is raising from the big blind. They tend to raise 3-bet a lot wider. He could have just about anything. So I give us the ace of jack of hearts, and I want to give him 44% 3-betting hand. I think he could possibly 3-bet with this entire range. So with that range, we're actually a 60% favorite to win this hand. Once again, I could 4-bet, but I think that just opens up the door for him to shoving, and I don't usually call a shove with the ace jack even if they are suited. So I think in this particular situation a call is in order, which we do. Not a bad flop for us. So let's just go ahead and into that. Ace queen 3, ace queen and 3. So we unclick this. Before any action, we're 65.5% favorite to win. So roughly 2/3 of the time we are ahead. But let's see what happens. Villain raised pre-flop. What does he do here? He continues. He puts in a half pot bet. Well, what would he bet half pot with? I like to mark red everything that would have us beat. Most of these players love to slow play, and they usually only bet something that they actually like. But let's go ahead and see. He does not have a straight flush. Would he have bet the flush? Personally, I think he would have slow played it. But I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. We're going to say he would bet the flush. There are no straights out there. Sets. I think he would probably bet the set, fearing that we're on a draw. I think he'd have bet 2 pair. So once again, we just have a pair of aces. So I think he'd have bet 2 pair. I think he'd have bet top pair, even though we're beating most of those, but we're still, just for simplicity, mark it red. There is a way to pick each individual one, but I'm just keeping it simple. Middle pair. He'd have bet middle pair, but we have those beats, so let's mark that in green. Second pair. I think you would have taken a stab at it. Bottom pair. You'd have probably taken a stab at it. Pair of twos? No. No made hand? I doubt it. What about all the draws? I think he would have bet all the draws. So if we click that, that means we're still a 54% favorite to win, but even though we are beating 67% of his range. Well, I think a call is definitely in order. I think a fold is just too passive. So in this particular instance, we do call. 8 of diamonds. That doesn't really change anything. 8 of diamonds. So we unclick that. Based on that, we're 63% favored to win. But what does villain do? Villain bets, but he bets smaller. Why does he bet smaller? That's usually a sign of weakness. If he really had the flush, and I think he would probably bet more, but we're giving him the benefit of the doubt. So once again, we click the red. What would he bet on the turn on the ace of diamonds? Well, if he had a weak flush, I could see him doing that. I don't think he'd do the straight more. Set. If he thought his set was good, he probably still does. Two pair. If he thought his two pair was good on the flop, he probably still does. Top pair. If he thought his top pair was good, he might think I'm going to draw. But that, we're beating most of those, so we'll make it green. King, king. He probably would not give up on the king, king yet. Middle pair. I think he'd give up on all the pairs now. Flush draws, no, he would still call. So right now we're still a 55% favorite to win, even though we're beating almost 81% of his range. We're still only a 55% favorite to win. If he is on a flush draw, an argument could be made to raise. He could be just slow playing or trapping us with a flush. And all we have is top pair. So we're not going to fold. That's just too weak. But I just don't believe a raise is in order here. Only thing that would call a raise would be the flush. Ace king, trips. Pretty much anything that has this beat, call the raise. Otherwise, everything we are beating would fold. So we do indeed call. And a king of spades. So we enter the king of spades. And once again, before any action, we're 65% favored to win. So we're going to win more times than we're going to lose. What does villain do? Villain still bets small. Oh man, that is almost like I want to be called kind of bet. That's a value looking bet. And once again, we have no HUD stats on him. So what would he value bet with? Well, once again, we mark in red. None of those are possible, so it doesn't matter. I flush, yes. Would he value bet a straight? He was chasing a gut shot. No, I think he would just check call. Sets, I think he would just check call. Two pair. No, at this point I think he would just check call. top pair. Well, at this point, really the only thing I think he would bet out on would be the flush. So if that's the case, we're losing. Man, it's just tough to fold that. All we have is a bluff catcher. But we're getting a 5-1 odds. We just have to be right more than 16% of the time. Well, would he do that? Let's just unclick this. Can we make an argument? I mean, the flush only made up 9.5% of his range. Oh, players do not like to bluff the river. That being said, it is such a small amount. My gut feeling is since she bet small on every street, it's weak. But my gut feeling also is he has something. So I think the best move would be to fold. I end up calling, and he showed pocket nines with the flush draw. Wow. So is 9-9 in our range? No. No. I mean, we did have it in weak pair, but long story short, I think I made the right move in this particular hand, but I think in the long run it would have been better to fold. If I would have raised flop, maybe he would have folded, maybe not. If I raised turn, I don't know, this is a very confusing hand, and that is not the way most players play at this level. But anyhow, if you agree or disagree, please let me know below. Once again, I am an amateur player, so please keep it constructive, and thank you for watching.